What's up? Welcome in. It is a CHGO Bears Monday. This is the CHGO Bears Podcast presented by PointsBet. Use promo code CHGO to get two risk-free bets up to $2,000. It's a Monday, which means Corey Wootton is here.
What's going on, fellas?
What's up?
Man, feeling good. Not so much about the game, but feeling good otherwise.
That's good. That's
not
good.
Victory Monday.
Yeah, it's not.
It's not, but we're going to have a victory focused, moving forward. Let's get the most out of this season show. Anybody with me?
I like that, man.
Carm showed up today ready to fix problems.
Well, I got up very early this morning. I think I was a 5-2 tour.
Wow.
Did my 620 Fox 32. What's up, Fox 32? Woot does stuff over there too. Hit, and then I came in here at 7 o'clock. Nobody was here. It was very peaceful.
And you started eating boneless wings.
And then I started eating boneless wings.
What kind?
Like buffalo chicken. It was
Okay.
Giordano's leftover Thursday night. I figured that we had a big show here Thursday night. I figured people would eat the boneless. Nobody ate it. And then
Wait, what time are we eating wings now?
I got here at 7, started eating the wings at about 9. It was
Breakfast. Okay.
breakfast after a kolache
Breakfast of
across the
champions.
street. My first ever kolache in the West Loop.
Hit the like button if you're up for eating boneless wings at 9 a.m.
Yeah, and subscribe would be cool. But
Please.
so I rewatched it.
Mm-hmm.
Justin Fields, when he had time and stayed in the pocket, he made some decent throws.
Yeah.
He looked like a quarterback.
Some really good throws, right? The
Right.
one long shot to Mooney. Man,
Bomb to Mooney was good. The throw to Mooney in the middle of 5 dudes,
Yeah.
he stayed there. He was calm. It was normal.
Yep.
Nice, solid, easy throw. First down, Bears. The 22-yarder to Wesco. By the way, the play last night.
Bear or not a bear?
Yeah, right. Bear, his first catch as a Bear, and his I think his 7th catch in 4 seasons in the NFL. Talent around Justin Fields. Did you guys watch last night when Patrick Mahomes made that insane, ridiculous
The spin and then
flip into the end zone?
I did.
Yeah.
I just watched
Impressive.
a play then from the Bears game that was almost literally the same exact play.
Exactly. Exactly.
And the Bears didn't make it.
The Bears didn't make it. He flipped it to Wesco, who dropped it.
Yeah.
So I
But also the running back that was right there didn't do what Clyde Edwards-Helaire did, which was sneak out and keep
Exactly.
going. So there was a couple things there.
Right, but I made a slightly rude comment on Twitter last night when Mahomes made that play. I was like, Fields could do that. Because it was more of a compliment of the absurdity that is Patrick Mahomes. Yeah. But then I'm rewatching it, and Fields actually kind of did that. Not quite as great, but it was a good play. They just dropped it. And by the way, you know what the play was right after that? He threw what should have been a first down pass to Dante Pettis.
Puts it right on the money, right? That back shoulder play.
Not an easy throw. Up top.
Great throw.
Great throw.
Right on the money. He's got to help him out.
And he dropped it. So I'm in a slightly positive mood this morning because when he was given time, for a guy was in his 13th start as he had his moments there were a couple of flashes yesterday. So
we saw progress, right?
There's a bit of progress.
Down the field passes, right? Because before this, really struggling. I really love the Mooney, like the shot, right? He put it where only he could get it. That's key. The Pettis throw was huge. He just seemed a lot more comfortable in the pocket, something we didn't see in the first couple weeks. So that's something to improve on, right? I think the passing game is improving, is going up after this game. But some of the play calls, especially that 3rd and 2, right, on the goal line, right, and you do a gun run, I'm like pulling my hair out because I'm like, this is 2 down territory to me. I'm thinking we can get 2 yards. Let's go 21 personnel. Let's get Blas in game. Let's get a tight end. Let's get 2 tight ends. And we have 2 plays to get in the end zone. And I'm going to bet my bucks on it. If they did that personnel, they would have had a touchdown there and not a field goal. So that I just didn't understand that.
Yeah, and I just didn't like the process. You bring up the play call and the personnel. Agree. In general, I'm like, if you're going to run the ball there, shouldn't you be going for it on 4th down?
Back
Like,
to
I didn't
back,
mind the run. I just didn't. I thought they'd be then going for it, and I just don't like too conservative for me. Way too conservative then to just settle for the field goal when you need touchdowns to win. Yesterday proved that. I just, back to Fields real quick. Yes, there were glimpses. Yes, there was baby steps. Good things happened at times, but you said a key thing too. When the protection held up and when he stayed in the pocket. There were too many times, and I can think of 2 specific ones, where for no reason he just started bailing out.
The one where Cole Kmet came in for max protect,
yeah,
and he's blocking Jihad Ward on the edge. He has him there, and he runs right into him.
Just runs right into the pressure. If he stays in the middle, he's got all day.
If he just goes over a little bit, he can move to the right a little bit, but he started scrambling towards the sideline. You're like, what are you doing? And then he takes a hit there. And then we talked about it. A lot of the unnecessary hits that he took, even on the scrambles, you're like, you got to get down. He was in weird positions, and I could tell he was beat up in that game. You could just tell, and as a young quarterback, you don't want him taking those hits, right? Look what happened with RG3, right? When we started taking those hits, he got injured. You don't want to ever see that. With Cam Newton early on, he thought, I could take these hits. I'm big and strong. No, you don't want to take hits as a quarterback.
Well, that part of it too, when they were in the game, and they were in the game, I guess the whole game, but when earlier on in the game, at least when he was trying to pick up first downs, he's hunting for running lanes because that's where he feels the most confident. Where is it? I can get a first down here,
Exactly.
3rd and 6, and he picked him up.
He did, yeah. I like that, but I was just saying some of the hits, and you could probably agree to this, right?
I bet you Luke Getsy, Andy Janoko, they're in the film room today showing him at least 5 he didn't have to take.
Yeah, they're like, man, get down, right?
Yeah.
It's a classic example. Like, sometimes you try to do too much, and you got to realize guys at this level, and I told you that. I said, anytime a quarterback used to scramble and they didn't give themselves up, that's our opportunity to wail on them. We're gonna take a shot at them, right? Clean hit. Yeah. We're gonna try to light them up in that situation. You want to scramble? Let's do this.
There was another one earlier too where it was only 5-man protection, but there was a brick wall.
Yeah,
and he still had more time. And look, so that's a good example. I think of nobody's really getting open, and in his head he's got the clock, and he's like, eventually this is gonna break down. But he ends up running out to the right, and he didn't need to. He had more time. So that just comes down to trusting your protection a little bit more, which I understand is tough right now because you're not getting consistency there.
Well, on the first one that you guys were talking about with where he runs into Ward, and 100%, the Bears had 6 guys blocking 3 Giants. So there's 3 guys running around trying to get open against 6 defenders.
Yep.
They're all double teamed. You know who gets open in those scenarios? Elite wide receivers can beat 2 players. Not Dante Pettis. No disrespect to Dante. Not Equanimous St. Brown. Not even, most of the time, Darnell Mooney.
Yep.
So,
yeah, when you go max protects against a 3-man rush, you have an issue there.
Yeah. You
the numbers aren't working out.
We need a tight end and a running back running around out there against the 5-on-6 would be okay, fine, someone's getting open. Because now we got linebackers covering running backs.
And let's talk about the protection offensively, right? It really struggled. Giants struggled with pressure. I think they had 3 sacks coming into this game. Yeah. They struggled to generate the pressure. And we made Lawrence look like a superstar out there, right? He looked like Warren Sapp, honestly, right? The 1 sack he had on Lucas Patrick, man, he threw him to the side, just complete bull rushed him. So, yeah, Justin Fields was getting pressured, and the O-line really, really struggled.
So, to that point, which one of these guys do you actually believe in?
Tevin Jenkins, for sure. I think.
Okay.
I think for me, I think he's the most nasty, great road grader. He fits that mold as a guard for me, right? With pass protection. I love him the most out there.
Okay, I can hear that, and he's played the least.
Yep.
And that's
Which is confusing.
Which is an indictment in what you just said.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, we've talked about Lucas Patrick like he's, a first ballot Hall of Famer.
He's not a guard. He's not a guard, though. He's a center. Like, I don't think people realize, like, I understand you're trying to get him reps, but it's such a different game. Center is more of a help out. You're the quarterback of the O-line, right? You don't really have zero techniques anymore on you head on, right? It's more you're quarterbacking the offensive line. You're setting the protections. You're helping out a lot. You're sliding. So him one-on-one on most people, that's tough sledding. Usually if he's one-on-one with a shade on him, the guard's helping out. So, Lawrence did his number on him. Like, he was pushing around the bull rush. So I understand they're trying to get him reps, but he's a center, play center.
Well, and they were forced to have him jump over to left guard because Whitehair got hurt, and he looked worse over there. And I don't know if that had anything to do with maybe a hand that's not 100%, but it wasn't good. Yeah. And Sam Mustipher is getting thrown around like Sam Mustipher gets thrown around.
Yeah, inconsistent.
Yeah, I mean, you can't win games if a struggling front is generating pressure on you. Like, they were going nuts about it, right? Like, literally everyone couldn't believe it on Twitter, this, that, and the other. Like, this Giants team is absolutely dominating them.
And it'll be interesting to see how the offensive line shakes out now, because it sure seems like best case scenario, Cody Whitehair is going to miss some time. Worst case scenario, it could be significant as he has an MRI this morning.
But before you get too far away from that, just to follow up on that last comment by you, the Giants crushed the Bears. The Giants had 3 sacks in 3 games coming into to yesterday.
They got 6 yesterday.
They got 6.
And what they generated, I think, the least pressure out of any other team in the league.
Right. So the Bears were not going up against the 85 Bears yesterday. They were going up against the 2022 Giants.
And you know what this game was for the Giants?
They might have looked like Lawrence Taylor in those unis, but he was not out there.
This was the confidence-building game for that Giants defense, right? Talk about they were stopping the run pretty consistently, but pressure-wise, they haven't been able to get pressure all year. So now they're feeling high. They got the juices flowing because they sacked Justin Fields 6 times in this game.
Well, can I just point out, though, that, like, remember last week when we were doing a show after a win, we were talking about how the Bears, you can't really win football games with 8 completions and 74 yards or whatever it is. Like, the Bears lost to themselves yesterday because Daniel Jones had 8 completions, 71 yards, and they just ran the ball the entire game, which is exactly what the Bears did against the Texans a week ago. Yeah. It's just like they lost to themselves.
So okay, I love that take.
Insert Spider-Man meme.
Your most difficult competition in life is the man in the mirror, and the Bears standing at themselves.
But it's like and that's not the only area where you could say that. What the Bears needed to adjust to on defense yesterday was exactly what other teams started to adjust to on the Bears in week 1, in the middle of the game against the 49ers. Blitz the boot.
Same thing like Lovey, right? He usually doesn't blitz, but he said, we're going to take this boot out. And Justin Fields got sacked and hit a few times, some errant throws, because they had a game plan against that. And what do we do at halftime? No adjustments at all. I said for sure, when they come out in the second half, they're going to run somebody right at the boot. Nope, they didn't do it. Then Tyrod Taylor comes in and does the same thing. I'm like, what is going on?
Right.
Really?
Right. I mean, could I have gone in there and run the boot against the Bears yesterday?
You
Seriously, I mean, what? How is that? They run the boot, okay, against Corey Wootton's Bears defense. Yep. You guys go to the sidelines. Yep. It's the middle of the first quarter. What happens?
We make an adjustment. We bring somebody off the edge. A linebacker off the edge, screaming at that boot.
Aren't you yelling at your teammate like, dude, do not lose your containment.
Exactly. Or we switch to an overfront, Hoge, what I was telling you about, right? So the defensive end on that side would be head up on the tight end, right? So when that tight end, doesn't really try to reach you inside, it's a boot right then. So you shock them, you shed it, and then you get up to the boot. So that's usually the boot killer when you're in the 6 technique. A lot of times they were in the 5 technique, which I told you is a tough sledding. Inside. And Brisker, a lot of times, his job was to contain, and especially on one of those touchdowns, he didn't do it at all. He's sitting there in coverage. He doesn't really know. It seems like they're unsure of what to do.
The touchdowns were the same play, by the way.
Was.
They were the exact same play. They got him twice on the same thing.
Like how does that happen, right? Like one time you understand, but after that you have to make an adjustment, and the same formation, same exact play. But hats off to the Giants for just sticking to their guns.
Mike Kafka had a great game calling.
He
Took what the defense gave him.
Yeah.
He did. Congrats to the former Cat. Way to go, Mike Kafka. Sorry it came against the Bears. This sucks, but Brisker, I didn't get it. Like, come on, man. We have you in the Hall of Fame. We love Jaquan Brisker. I love Jaquan Brisker.
His eyes have been a problem, though, and they were already in the first 3 weeks.
He
too.
also on the Morrow missed tackle on Saquon where they had him in the backfield, which was a huge play.
About the screenplay?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Brisker it was on third down. Morrow should have tackled Saquon. They didn't get him. He gets out of there. Daniel Jones blocked Brisker on that play, like borderline ragdolled him. Like, dude, you're Jaquan Brisker. You could have cracked the living daylights out of the quarterback right there. I was looking back at him, like, what? How is that? That should not happen.
What was the other play that we watched, Hoge? Who was that got blocked by a wide receiver?
It was Joe Thomas getting blocked.
Like pancaked.
Yes.
Like dominated, like pushed 5 yards down the field because he's the edge of this, right? He's coming down to block him. He should shock and lock him. He's a wide receiver. You have no job getting blocked by a wide receiver. You should make him think twice about that next time.
Yeah.
And he gets pancaked down the field.
Exactly. Like, make him Daniel Jones. Don't you ever come down the field. I will smoke the living. Are you
That's your
kidding me?
free opportunity.
Right.
That's what I told you. It's a free opportunity.
He should have been buried into the ground if nothing else there. And then Jaquan should have gotten off him and tackled Saquon at the same damn time. But like Daniel Jones, great block on that really just is painful to watch on a rewatch.
And when it comes down to the run game defensively, right? We talked about they're able to stop the inside runs. It's when we start getting on the edge that they struggle with, right? Because it's setting the edge of the defense. Guys are out of position, right? We talked about the one where Eddie Jackson came inside on a blitz, and Morrow should see him crossing his face. Yep. As soon as he crossed his face, you scrape and you go downhill, and that would have been a tackle for a loss or a 0-yard gain at that point.
So, okay. You can't really replace the players that are out there at this point in the season. What would you recommend to fix the run defense right now?
So I think a lot of it is the gap discipline, right? And guys aren't getting off the ball. I told you this. The first drive, Saquon's first run, Pennell was 8 yards down the field getting absolutely pancaked, right? He got knocked into the linebacker, and Saquon goes for 20-plus yards on that. Like, you cannot win. They're not getting off the football, right? I told you this Tampa 2 defense, it thrives on get-off, right? Because penetration destroys everything. When I look at them getting off the ball, they get off the ball slow. You have to penetrate, right? Even if you're reach, right, they're doing an outside zone, and I get up the field and I create penetration, right, I'm in my gap, and Saquon has to cut back. So that's the edge of the defense. We're not seeing – remember I told you, Henry Melton, Tommy Harris, those really good 3 techniques that get up the field, as well as like Peppers. You get up the field and you penetrate, and that creates the edge. And that's what they're not doing right now. They're not getting off the football. And Tampa 2, get off is a must, and we don't see much of that.
Not good. Yeah, because that's what has me worried is just like how much that can actually be fixed mid-season.
Yeah, it's tough.
They might just not have the dudes to do it.
Yeah,
I just want to know, like, who are the keepers? Who's long term here? Let's figure that one out. Kyler, can we get you better? Jaquan, I know we can.
So you're ready for the offseason, is what you're saying?
No,
you're ready to make.
I am, because I'm super excited to see the Bears use their $100+ million to get some aid. But
he's just excited he'll be 1 year closer to Arlington. That's all he cares about.
That's true. We'll get there. Sooner or later.
I mean, I'm looking forward to a trip to Minnesota and to see how they do. But I also like, hey, let's figure out who's staying, who's going. We can have those conversations later. But like, who's got the talent to be here? I mean,
well, that's kind of what they're figuring out right now. And they kind of knew that coming into the season that it was going to be like that. Let's take a quick break, and then we'll hand out our Monday loaf since it is a loss. But first, we'll tell you that this football season, PointsBet is bringing you a better way to bet live on games, which means before this ad is over, you can place a live same-game parlay, bet on the next drive to be a touchdown, and cash out on your live second-half overbet. With PointsBet, you have access to more live football markets than ever before. Build the perfect live same-game parlay by combining your favorite bets anytime during the game, including spreads, totals, player props, and more. Choose the outcome of the next drive and next points with PointsBet Lightning Bets. Whether you're on the move or on the couch, do it live on PointsBet. Download the PointsBet app today. Sign up with code CHGO to get your first 2 bets risk-free up to $2,000. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem wants help, call 1-800-GAMBLER for crisis counseling and referral services.
And if you're looking for tickets to a sporting event, a concert, a show, anything in general, the hottest new ticketing site, that would be Game Time Tickets. Download the app right here, and you could be looking at a sweet center court, upper level, $28 ticket to Bulls and Pelicans preseason buckets tomorrow night at the United Center. I know you want to go.
Wow.
8:30. I will be.
You going?
No, I can't go tomorrow night, but I will be at the United Center soon enough. A week from Tuesday, when the Milwaukee Bucks come calling. That's their last, I think, preseason game at the UC. I'm going to head on over. But use that Game Time app to, you want to sit upper level, you want to sit front, you want to sit courtside, you want to be there at our next tailgate coming up on November the 6th when the Dolphins come to town. There you go. Hey, plenty of Game Time tickets available for you. Also, if you love CHGO, the best way to support us is by buying your tickets through the link in the description as we're pulling up right now. That is a huge support to us and a great way to get yourself into any of the Chicago facilities, including Soldier Field, where the Bears should stay forever. Thank you very much. Knock it down and rebuild it.
Yeah, okay. Okay, Ryan Field.
Hey,
doing that.
That's a sweet move by the Wildcat.
Yeah, it's been a tough year. I don't want to talk.
Yeah, no, let's not talk about that.
We won't do that. Okay, it's Monday. The Bears lost. It's time for Monday loafs. We got to hand them out. They're handing them out at Hallis Hall right now. They're just, they're like Oprah. You get one, you get one. Everybody's getting the loafs this morning. I will start with one on defense. We saw it. I know you saw this too, Corey, but there was the obvious missed tackle that Nicholas Morrow made in the backfield on Saquon Barkley. It should have been like a 9-10 yard loss, and obviously it went for a big gain, and that was a huge play in the game. But Robert Quinn, I have no idea what he was doing on that play. He just kind of ran by the missed tackle, didn't seem to realize that he wasn't tackled, and then he turns around and just stands there. So I have to imagine that the coaches are giving him a loaf on that play.
100%. Bad angle. The angle wouldn't even got to him at all, right? It was just bad football. That should have been knocked out for a minus play on that, right? Somebody should have got him in the backfield. Poor angles, poor tackle. Everybody gets a loaf on that one.
It almost looked like he was just assuming the tackle was being made and he was going to the bench.
Yeah,
because otherwise it didn't really make sense where he was going.
Yeah, we're getting off the field. We're good.
Maybe gonna throw in a little celebration or something.
Not with Saquon. He breaks too many tackles.
Oh.
I mean, to jump off of that on a triple loaf on the Justin Fields fumble, which I still think should have been an incomplete pass, but ruled a fumble and probably correctly. Braxton Jones got beat on that play. Sam Mustipher got beat on that play by Dexter Lawrence, and then Kayvon Thibodeau played to the whistle, and Cody Whitehair did not. So that's 3 offensive linemen on one particular play, all earning some level of loaf.
About that too is that's a rookie jumping on a ball, and 2 veterans looking at it. Cody Whitehair had he had to react instantaneously, but hey, the rookie on the other side of the field did. Exactly. And then meanwhile, Equinemius St. Brown was just standing there the whole time. He made no effort to go after the ball.
Got to make an effort when the ball's on the ground. That's the loaf there.
I mean, that is a fresh, good, solid loaf. Get some peanut butter on there. You're really enjoying a good lunch for that loaf. Yeah, big time loaf by EQ. I'm taking your word for it. I don't remember him on that play, but it sounds incredibly spot on.
My loaf is Jaquan Brisker. Same play, touchdown 2 times in a row. Daniel Jones making him look great. Right? A guy that struggled. But you are the edge of the defense in that formation. You have contained. I didn't understand what he was doing. He kind of dropped back like he was in coverage. There's nobody there. Get the edge of the defense. You would have had 2 sacks in that play with the opportunity to maybe make him an errant throw, maybe a sack fumble.
He weirdly covered a tight end in the middle of the field on the second one. It was bizarre.
Yeah, I don't understand that. It's simple football. That's what's the most concerning to me, guys, is the fact that, like, you cannot stop the basic plays. I could understand if they're scheming, they're game planning, some trick play, something that catches you off balance you haven't seen, but these are easy plays. We're talking about a boot. We're talking about a zone run. We're talking about a zone read. These are simple one-on-one plays. Like, these are easy to defend, and they have no answer. Like, that's what makes me concerned, because this week we're playing against Dalvin Cook.
Yeah.
He might go for 300 yards the way they are playing, honestly. I'm very nervous about this game because they cannot stop the run, and he's an absolute monster out there.
And they have Justin Jefferson and Adam Thielen, who you have to cover.
Exactly. They got a good play
The last
caller.
couple of weeks, you haven't played any wide receivers.
Exactly.
If
But
they could just flex this to a night game, then we would get primetime Kirk Cousins. That might help.
Yeah.
at home, too, they play well.
Yeah.
The Bears gave up 262 yards yesterday, 90 on the ground, 98 from the quarterbacks. It's the fourth most since 1977. Shout out to Big Z for that stat in the trip today. That ain't good. They're on pace to give up 3,116 yards, which would be the third most since the 1978 Bills and 1948 Brooklyn Dodgers. I didn't even know there was a football team.
I didn't know that either.
Did you double check that work? Because I didn't. I'm assuming is the Brooklyn Dodgers were a football team.
So they got
Biggs never gets anything wrong, so it's got to be right.
Well, maybe they were the actual Brooklyn Dodgers out there. That's why they were so bad. They couldn't stop the run because they were baseball players.
1948 NFL Brooklyn Dodgers. Double checking.
How is the deep run defense worse than last year or the past couple years? Right? You thought there would be some kind of improvement there. And this is basic. I can understand, right, the lack of pressure, right? I'm okay with that in a sense, right? Because you can scheme up some things. You could bring blitzes. You can do different games and stunts to get the pressure. But stopping the run, it really comes down to attitude, discipline, having your gap. That's half the battle.
Yeah.
Like, and they're not doing any of that. You know, when I see somebody getting knocked down the field 8 yards, like, you cannot, like, in the first couple plays of the game, like, they set the tone right there.
Brooklyn Dodgers of 1948 won 2 games, 2-12 in the American Football Conference, so they actually were a team. And I'm double checking who those 2 wins came against because you knew. Very weird.
I'm not sure we need to know.
Well, I'm wondering if they were against the Bears
Well, not if they were in the AFC, right?
Okay, you're right. The New York Yankees at the Brooklyn Dodgers is a game on here. That's just feels like this is not right.
I still think it's a baseball game.
Are you looking at U Stadium again? What's going on?
Is this U Stadium?
No, this is not U Stadium.
Okay.
The Chicago Rockets lost to the Brooklyn Dodgers, 21-7. You remember the Rockets?
No.
Was this
Me
Arena
neither.
League? Was this the 1940s Arena
I don't
League?
think this is
What's
a real
going on
team.
here?
All right. Now, I hate to break it to you guys, but the schedule's
Their only 2 wins were against the Chicago Rockets. Now you can move on. Whoever the hell they were. The 2 wins of the 2-12 48 Brooklyn Dodgers were against the Rockets.
That's not a team. The schedule's about to get tougher, guys, and I'm sweating the over bet a little bit on the 6.5 wins. Now, if you told me that they started 2-2, great, but you start to look at this and it's like, realistically, how do they beat the Vikings in Minnesota? Like, you got to hope they come back from London extremely tired and like.
Yeah, I don't know with the way they are not stopping the run, like, because what the Giants said, like Kafka and company, they were game planning. They're like, we don't even need to pass the ball at this point. Let's just run the ball, right?
Basically ran 2 plays the whole game.
And Minnesota can do the same thing, right? Like, good play callers are like, let's just take what the defense is giving us. Yeah. I'm not trying to get cute. And that's a game where he could have tried to get Daniel Jones some confidence, right? He's a young guy that they're trying to get going. But he's like, we're going to win this game running the football. And Minnesota will do the same thing. If I'm an opposing offensive coordinator, I'm saying we're running the ball 40-something times this game. We're going to set the tone. They can't stop it.
They can't stop it. Yeah. Then after that, you get Washington at home.
I feel okay about that.
That's got to be a must win.
Yeah.
Because then you go to New England. Now their quarterback situation's shaky right now, but they almost won at Lambeau yesterday.
Yep. And they always find a way to get that backup quarterback the confidence. They game plan for him. They scheme for him.
It's a Monday night game.
Belichick cannot scheme for this offense. He will not know what to do. He'll be completely on his heels. I see you, Getsy. Come on, baby. You're going to take down Billy. Let's go.
Maybe that's what they're saving everything for.
Right.
They're just holding everything back until they go to New England in a few weeks.
Oh,
Then they go to Dallas. Dak Prescott's probably back by then.
Don't you think the Bears' offense feels at least a little bit better, though, today? Don't you think Getsy's like a drop more confident in what they can do?
You got to stop that right now. Really.
Which one?
You did the same thing at halftime yesterday. They didn't score a touchdown. They cannot be feeling better about anything.
So
they have to be.
I understand where he's coming from because, like, from a passing standpoint, right? He was better with the play calling.
Yeah.
Obviously, in the red zone, he's got to get better with his play calling. But as far as, like, scripting the plays, it was a lot better than it had been
I know,
in the first
but
2
it's
weeks,
just
right?
like, guys.
It's not where we need it to be. But
Guys, you turn on that Chiefs game last night. It's a different league. They're playing a different sport.
They have Andy Reid. They have Andy Reid.
I know, but can we just stop celebrating?
We're not.
They completed 4 pocket passes downfield. It's a step in the right direction. I mean, these expectations right now are so low.
Yes,
they really are.
How low they are.
That's fine. I agree with everything you're saying. That it is a different league. It is insulting what I just said. But they went from 8, 7, and 8 completions to 11. That is
What a win! Wow.
Well, that's a 33% improvement here, team.
But the yards per pass were better, right?
And
we're taking a positive.
They connected on a bomb. They also had other plays that should have happened, that could have happened. Fields looked at least 12% more comfortable.
Yeah.
So it didn't go backwards. It went forwards. So now
Red zone. That's the key. Red zone. You got to capitalize. You got to score 2 touchdowns in that situation. You got to. You got 4 opportunities to score. You can't
Right.
walk away with all field goals. You can't.
Well, and that's the thing, though, right? You get down to the 10-yard line. What are you going to do if you're
How
Luke?
many times has Justin Fields thrown a ball into the end zone this entire season?
That's a great question. Has it 4 times?
Because you brought up the stat yesterday that like they had run 19 runs and 1 pass in the red zone all season. Is that right?
That's what
Wasn't
they
that
put,
the number?
That's what they put on the screen. Yes, and that's when I said that has to be incorrect.
So his only throws into the end zone have to be the touchdowns.
Yeah, that's it.
Well, he threw the touchdown pass to EQ. Is that it?
The EQ and then
No, that was outside of the red zone.
and then
That was outside of the red zone, right?
No,
yeah,
that
but I'm
was-
saying, but he
I think
actually
it was in the red zone. It was
He
like
actually threw the ball into the end zone though.
Yeah.
I'm not
Yes.
how many passing attempts have actually crossed the
True.
plane?
Not many at all.
I want to know is once they were inside the 10-yard line, we could I don't know who. Braggs, can you get on that? You're a research superstar.
He's laying brick right now. He's got
Brick by brick. Go to
No,
work.
he
do
is
your
actually
job.
he's in the chat right now.
I see it.
Throwing the old facepalm
Yeah, yeah.
emoji because
Whatever.
can't believe what you're saying.
We'll figure it out somehow. It ain't many. But my point is this: like, if you're Getsy, are you dialing up? What are you dialing up? Who's getting open in that tight of a window?
Yeah.
You know,
I'm with you.
He's got to get better in the red zone calling because up to that, right, the play calling was pretty good. And then all of a sudden you get in the red zone, you get a little hesitant, you get a little nervous, it seems like, from his play calling. Right?
Well, it seems like he doesn't think that they can score any other way than running it across.
He doesn't.
right. But okay, how about something other than straight up the middle? Can we?
Yeah, can we get in a boot in that situation, get him on the run, or can we get something going?
Well, there were a couple things that one is, and they fell into this trap last week too against the Texans. Like for an outside zone running team, they sure have been getting into like too much inside zone portions of these games, which is weird. I hated that they came out at halftime and Khalil Herbert wasn't on the field.
Right? We talked about Ebner was out there. I'm like, what is going on? He just had some time to rest up, get some Gatorade, whatever.
They had a quick pass, which they completed to start the second half, which was actually one of the good plays, one of the actual, it's 2022, we can throw the ball downfield plays. And then they ran the ball twice in a row after that, and it was Treston Ebner. I'm like, it's halftime. Like, nobody's tired. Why is your best running back not on the field? I don't understand this.
It's weird.
And both of those plays, I think it was like a -2 run and then like a even gain. And Khalil Herbert hits the edge on that one where he got tackled in the backfield.
Yes.
He's got a different level of juice, so he at least gets a couple yards. It's not for a loss.
Right. He took. You can't take a loss on that play.
Oh,
for a
you
running
can't.
back. You didn't have anywhere to run, but you can't take a loss.
You're one-on-one on a linebacker. You have to be able to get the edge on him.
Absolutely.
At that same time, he had a clean pocket. He missed St. Brown. a dump off to Komet that didn't go anywhere. That turned into a 14-12 game. Can we actually rewind to right before the half? I want to make a point on Eberflus if I can. It was third and 1 at the 28-yard line. The Giants had the football. Flus calls timeout. We talked about it on the post-game show yesterday, and I was like, "What are you doing? Like you're definitely giving the Giants an opportunity on 3rd and 1. They're going to pick up the first down."
He did what Lovey did last week.
Right, he did and it didn't make any sense. But then rewatching it, I'm thinking to myself, actually, this is the Flus that we want. It's not necessarily a logical play in the moment, but he's hoping to get his offense another chance to have some level of progress at the end of the half and give him a shot to get points. And it ended up working out. They didn't stop him on that one, but they stopped him on the next set of downs, and they got the ball. And Bears are down 14-9 at the time, and Fields dropped back to pass 3 times. Now, he wasn't able to throw the ball on any of them. He had run out of bounds. Like the protection was horrible. But like the mindset is, you think that he just did it because
I think you're giving him too much credit. I don't think you call a timeout on 3rd and 1 there.
You know that
you can't stop the run. You haven't been able to stop the run the whole game. They're going to get the first down, and they're willing to let the clock run out. You get the ball coming out at halftime, you let the clock run out. I think you're giving him too much credit there.
Maybe I am, but
he's fortunate they were playing the Giants. If he had done that against the Packers, Aaron Rodgers scores a touchdown like 3 plays later.
Oh, yeah.
And then he looked.
You can't make that mistake,
right? And then he looks really dumb. But maybe he wouldn't have done it against the Packers. But even if he did, to me, he's in an ideal world. He's looking out. He's looking. Hopefully, the defense can do this, so I can get my quarterback a shot to run his 2-minute drill with 30 seconds and get that experience, because we are playing for a Super Bowl, damn it, next year. So I want to get him every opportunity, which is why, by the way, they should be throwing the football when they're inside the 10-yard line, because you're going to need that then too. So quit trying to squeeze whatever little juice is in the lemon of the Bears 2022, and let's keep on trying to look out. So I like if he's doing that in a global way, I actually think the Flus should get props. But you're probably right that he just didn't know what the hell he was doing, and
yeah, it's like it's same thing with punting late in the game, like.
Those two, and it doesn't add up because late in the game,
you've given up 260 rushing yards. What are you? It technically worked out, until the point where it didn't, because then your rookie muffed the punt. So it really didn't work out. So don't stand there on the post-game press conference and be like, "Yeah, I'm happy how that turned out."
Exactly.
How are you happy with how that turned out? It didn't work.
Well, what was really weird about it is we were trying to flip the field.
Yeah, that made no sense. You already had the field flipped.
You're at the 45-yard line. You don't need to flip the field.
No one's flipping the field there. That makes no sense. And you haven't stopped the run the entire game. Yeah. You got lucky that you got the ball back.
Yeah.
Go for it on 4th down.
Yeah, that's what I didn't understand either, right? Like you said, if your defense is rocking, then you feel confident about a punt. But not in that situation right there.
Well, they put 9 in the box and they get off the field.
Against a team that didn't have a quarterback.
That had Daniel Jones playing wide receiver over there with the bum ankle. Like, he wasn't going anywhere.
Which they didn't adjust to, by the way. Like, they didn't even creep that guy in as like an extra backer.
Exactly.
Why would you not do that? If they throw him the ball out there, he's not going anywhere. He can't. Plus, you'd love for them to throw the ball and keep him in bounds.
They couldn't stop the run even when they know there was no threat of pass. Like, that's just how bad it's been as a rush defense. Daniel Jones out there, they're not passing the ball at all. It's going to be a wildcat formation. You got to give everything you can for your gap, for your discipline, everything. They couldn't do any of that.
I misspoke there. I meant to say you'd love to have him throw the ball there because it's either incomplete or you can get him out of bounds and preserve a timeout.
Well, this is also, by the way, who they hired. They hired a defensive coach who's going to rely on his defense, and the other guy on the other side who was out there as well. I mean, the Giants went through their offseason transition. The Bears went through theirs, and you saw an offense that was a little bit more creative yesterday and using, they can't guard this. Well, we'll just bootleg Daniel Jones all day long and take advantage of this.
Yeah, to be honest, though, it wasn't really that creative. It was just them finding 2 concepts that worked that the Bears couldn't stop, and they just did it the whole game.
Okay, I don't even have to get that creative.
But I want to give Mike Kafka credit for that, because it's like there's a lot of coaches in the NFL. We have certainly seen them here in Chicago recently that just overthink things. Where they're like, okay, well, let's now try this, let's try it. And then they just ignore the fact that, like, this is working. Keep doing it.
That's in the Packers game? right? The first drive down, score. Oh, let's go to gun run here.
Yeah.
Let's go gun drop back. You're like, whoa, okay. We just drove the ball down the field for a score, and then all of a sudden you're trying to change the script. And I'm just like, what is going on here?
Keep doing it.
Like, just keep doing it. Like, if it's easy, who cares if it's pretty, if it's this or not? If you're driving on a team, it works.
Yeah.
I don't get that.
Comments are awesome today, by the way, guys. Captain A, hey, guys, question, do we know the whys? You know, there is a thing that's going on here where Bears fans, I don't know, correct me if I'm wrong, there's still a, I don't know, hangover from the Nagy/Trubisky era that is sort of playing into the quarterback panic right now, perhaps, and which is why we still see comments like,
Well, you
do
got
we know the whys?
You got to understand that virtually anybody, I don't want to say anybody, but probably 95% of the people who interact with this show on a daily basis have never seen a good quarterback in Chicago.
I know.
Jay Cutler was the best quarterback.
It's so bad.
Easily. Not according to Carm. Carm would say Josh McCown.
Josh McCown, 13 touchdowns, 1 interception. He was an actual leader, and guys, people are writing about how he could be the greatest coach in the history of the NFL, even though he's never coached before. Give me that guy over the dude that's hanging out in a treehouse trying to kill a snake that's attacking his house.
Is there something about these former Green Bay?
That was a great line.
Is there something about these former Green Bay coaches, right? Hackett, Getsy. They've been struggling with the game planning. Like, I think sometimes, and we'll see how everything goes, but I think sometimes people get so much credit off coaching somebody like Aaron Rodgers or somebody else like LaFleur and Rodgers. They're running the show.
Spoiled.
They are running the show.
Yeah. Yes.
You know what I mean? Just like with Matt Nagy, when he got all the credit for being the O coordinator, that is Andy Reid's show. Everyone's like, well, we have Nagy and look at there, Patrick Mahomes. No, that was Andy Reid.
Watching the Chiefs last night was an experience, wasn't it? Because it was just like, and I know this happens a lot, but last night was definitely one of those days where, like, you just got done watching the Bears, and now that's right there in front of you all night long, and you're like, it's a different offense. It's a different level of play. It's like a different sport.
The Andy Reid part of the Nagy thing, I'm not going to say the name, but I know somebody in Chicago media who knows Reid well and would like call up Reid, like, your guy sucks. He's like, you just be nice to him, like, basically. like can you don't have to say it like super blunt, like you can make some point. Like he knew that he wasn't necessarily head coach material. Brought him back.
But don't you think that a lot of times, like, people ride the coattails of other people, like, because they have a title, even though that's not it. Like, look what Andy Reid did with Alex Smith, man. Yeah. Like, San Francisco tossed him to the side, and he's a four-time Pro Bowler, All-Pro, leading completions, yards, everything, efficient. He caters that offense to him. That's why I just, like, if Andy Reid was here in Chicago, imagine the game plan he would have for Justin Fields. You know what I mean? It'd be night and day. Right? But it's you can't blame Justin Fields, right, for holding the ball but for the game planning, that's on Luke Getsy. He has to get the best out of what you have, right? Which the Patriots have done for years. We say, they have a backup right now, right? But what do? They game plan, they script for what he's comfortable for.
So, but I'm going to defend Getsy for a second here. Like, you really think you can game plan with this offense?
Well, but yes,
you can always game plan for what you have.
Here's what I'm not seeing.
Okay.
I'm still seeing way too many boots because the defense has adjusted to that. Like, you got to stop it. You keep running him into trouble with those, okay? How about just simple play actions? And they don't have to all be shots.
Exactly.
Like, that's the problem I'm seeing is, like, okay, you're running the ball well, now you go play action, but everything's too far downfield. Like, there's nothing wrong with, like, the play action, here's a quick completion. Like, bam.
As I said, need more of those dink and dunk intermediate throws. Like, think like the Patriots, right? Like, Tom Brady, when he first got his Carman, we were talking this on Thursday night after dark. That offense was made for Drew Bledsoe, that Patriot system, guy with a cannon of an arm, right? And then he gets hurt. Brady comes in and say, okay, how we get this young guy confident, right? The 6th-round pick, dink and dunk throws, intermediates. And then all of a sudden, then you can work the longer game. but that got him the confidence, and that's what Luke Getsy needs to do because he's not doing that. We're doing, like you said, too many boots, right? Why not do a 21 personnel, just play action, right? We don't have to do a boot.
Yeah.
And then a nice 5-yard out, 7-yard out. Get things going, right? A little seam, right? The zone beater. You don't see any of that stuff. And Cole Kmet, like, in the red zone, you don't even give him an opportunity to do anything, right? You talk about the difference between run and pass at this point. A tight end in the red zone is usually a quarterback's best friend, right? It's a nightmare matchup. A bigger guy, 6'5" and above, can use his body. That should be pitch and catch all day.
You saw for the zillionth time Patrick Mahomes leaning on Travis Kelce in the red zone last night.
And Cole Kmet is not Travis Kelce, but in the red zone, he should be able to block out, use his body,
right,
to catch some balls out there. Like, that's, I don't know. It's frustrating to see, you know, the play calling because you got stuff that works and then you go away from it, right? Their best personnel is 21 personnel all day, every day, right? You work the play action off that. You work drop back pass with that. There's a lot of things you can do, and it helps the O-line out, right?
Yes.
Now you're in that formation, and they're thinking, I don't know if it's a run or pass, so maybe I'm going to get off differently, right? But you know if you're in gun, they know based on where the back is, right? Because you already know I could call out every running play from the gun, right? Because the running back is behind Justin Fields, right? Because he's got to be able to go downhill, right? When he's even, that's a pass. And you know by the tackle stance. So that gives it away. That's why in the 21 personnel, it disguises it more. So you have an O-line that's struggling. That's how you game plan for them, right? Because opposing defenses, I hated that 21 personnel because you could never get a jump on the pass or the play action.
Torian, for the record, I see you in the chat. Yeah, Cooper Rush won another game yesterday.
Your guy.
He hasn't thrown an interception. He's thrown 4 touchdown passes. Dude's 3-0 as a starter. Hashtag Cooper Rush.
Well, because they're doing exactly what Corey's talking about. They're making things easy for him.
That's like, I don't understand why we have to complicate things.
Yeah.
Football is really not that tough. I promise you. Yes, it's a tough game and to play at a high level and all this, but to win games and make things comfortable for a quarterback and a team and an offense that's younger, that's the recipe for it. But Getsy goes away from it, and I want to try to be cute. And play callers do this all the time, right? They do it all the time, and it makes me want to pull out my hair because I'm just like, this is what's working. Let's stick with it. And then all of a sudden, like, oh, let's do this. Why? Like, I really don't get it.
Keep it simple, stupid.
Yeah. Tiger Woods.
That's what it should be. Hey, want to make sure you know about our friends at Chi-Town Custom Cornhole, the #1 cornhole provider for Chicagoland and Illinois since 2007. We got a couple of their sets here in the office. We had them at the tailgates. You got to see them. They'll make anything you want for your company. Some type of gift that you want to give somebody, they can do it. Their signature box-style design can be digitally printed, covered in vinyl, and painted. Our cornhole boards come with a built-in drink holders, recessed in lighting on the back, the LEDs that light up on the hole, exterior handles for easy carrying, and they have the handcrafted scorekeepers as well. It's a veteran-owned and operated company. They can ship anywhere and offer local pickups, specializing in corporate designs for your company's next marketing or social event, wedding gifts, and gifts for all occasions, especially for tailgaters and backyard barbecues. Check them out at Chi-Town Custom Cornhole.
Ooh, yeah. Let's get to our next tailgate and play some cornhole. I'm excited. Bears. Let's go.
All right. Can we find 5 more wins on the schedule? Let's just do this real quick.
Yes,
Vikings.
we can. We absolutely can.
Okay, Vikings, no. I'm going to count Washington as a possible win.
I think that's a win. I can feel confident in that.
What about New England?
Win. At New England, right?
Yeah.
No,
on Monday Night
that's
Football.
a loss.
At Dallas.
That's a loss.
With Dak back. Versus Miami.
That's a loss.
Dolphins look good. Detroit.
Win.
Let's say they split with Detroit? Yeah.
I think we split with Detroit, and I think we split with the Vikings. Usually when they're not at home, I feel okay about.
So then that's 3 wins there.
Okay.
If they split with the Vikings, they split with Detroit. At Atlanta.
Win.
They just lost Cordero Patterson, by the way.
All right, we can say it's a win.
I don't know. Maybe. I'm going to count the Jets because I always thought that they would split New York.
Yeah.
So they got the loss out of the way. So we'll say Jets, Packers, no. Philly, no. Buffalo, no. How about that 3-week stretch? In the start December, Packers, Eagles, Bills, all at home, by the way.
That's why this game against the Giants was so important. You had a chance to go 3-1.
Yeah, and I hate to tell you, but that was the rest of the season. So we found 4 wins there.
I know. This is changing because I had higher expectations. I told you I thought maybe 8-9 wins, and man, I don't see.
And they started 2-2.
Yeah.
Listen,
Right.
they beat Washington. They beat New England.
Wow.
They beat the Dolphins.
Okay.
They beat Detroit. That's 4 right there. Beat the Jets 5. Win one of Detroit and Minnesota against 6. There's your 8 wins.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be tough. They're going to have to be able to stop the run. I mean, honestly, teams are just going to gash them. That's how it's going to be. Like,
It's a weird schedule. They're in this stretch right now, 4 out of 5 games on the road. The one home game is a short week. We got to play on Thursday.
That could help them. Hits principle, recovery, quicker, bang.
I don't know. It just worries me. Oh, because you remember the 2012 season I played in, we were so good defensively, stopping the run, everything, right? And then we essentially had the same team, with the exception of Urlacher in 2013, and we went from top 5 to dead last in every category. We could not stop the run, right? We're making adjustments. We're thinking everything. And then we still cannot stop the run. We're like, a year ago we stopped the run. We had the same team pretty much. We cannot stop the run.
So what do you attribute that to?
I think it has a lot to do with coaching, to be honest with you, because I think that's the only difference, right? We had Mel Tucker's defense compared to Lovey and Rod Marinelli's.
Which he tried to keep it the same for
Exactly.
you guys,
But it wasn't.
Yeah.
You know, it's so different. You know, we had that one play on the Green Bay game, right, which would have got us into the playoffs. Ball's on the ground. Nobody scoop and scores it, right?
Yeah.
And it actually was a live play. That would have never happened. So stuff starts to creep in, and that's what I'm wondering. I like Eberflus as the head coach. I don't know. Maybe he needs to overtake the play calling duties. You know what I mean? Like, honestly, at this point, because Alan Williams is not working right now with what he's calling and scripting. I'm being honest.
He had one comment in his post game yesterday saying that we need to. I wrote it down. I'll say exactly what he said.
I wouldn't oppose to that, honestly.
I'll say this, like, I really like the idea of the head coach not having to deal with calling plays, whether it's offense or defense during the game, but
that's what you
it
do.
was glaring how it took too long for them to adjust yesterday.
Yeah.
And it seemed like a relatively simple adjustments.
Yeah.
And that's concerning.
Like, literally edge of the defense. That's it, right? The free hitter, you scrape, you come downhill, and you make a play. That's it. That's it. You knock out that. They don't do anything.
And Saquon's still going to get his when you do that because you're kind of taking a guy out of the middle. But, like, fine. Like, but you can't give up 2 touchdowns to a quarterback running on the same exact freaking play.
That looks terrible. It really does look terrible.
Terrible is the word.
It comes down to the coaching. I honestly think Alan Williams. I think Eberflus might need to start calling the plays.
We had to adjust to it a little bit quicker, is what he said.
Well, at least he said that.
Yeah.
He also said they had to flip the field when they were at midfield.
Okay, so he got that one wrong, but this one he got right. We had to
Right, like I'm with you. I would like, you know, the head coach just to deal with his stuff, right? Obviously have input in the defense.
Yeah.
But at this point, with the way the defense is going, it is ugly.
See, what's kind of concerning is that's such a simple fix to me that I would think that it doesn't necessarily require him calling the plays, just going over to the DC and being like, yo, we have to do this. I'm the head coach. We're just going to make this change, which should be how every coaching staff works. It shouldn't be like the head coach should always have that power.
Of course.
You know, he should even have that power on offense. Like
he right, his quote should have been, I should have adjusted quicker, period.
Like even on offense, he should have the ability to go, hey, we need to throw the ball more, or we're winning by 2 possessions with this amount of time left. Let's just stick it to the ground. Like coaches do that. That's okay. But that was glaring yesterday.
Do you know who Greg Braggs is?
Greg Braggs, brick by brick.
Yeah. I mean, he's in there saying, look at this comment. Woot, you guys couldn't stop a nosebleed with Mel Tucker. in parentheses, respectfully. I mean, that to me seems like a fight that I want to watch.
Hey, Braggs, that was funny, man. Next time I see you, bro, I'm not gonna be so nice. All right, I'm not giving you a dap, a handshake, none of that. All right,
Braggs,
all right.
Braggs, we let Woot say the things about the 2013.
Yeah.
Brick by brick is brick by brick way out of his lane with that one, just coming straight at him.
By the way, Mel Tucker struggling a little bit at Michigan State right now.
Yeah, he had some post game comments.
I missed that. What did he say?
I think he said something like, "I'm coaching like shit" or something like that.
Oh.
Like I think at least he put it on himself, right?
Good for him.
He's also
Because a lot of coaches do not take accountability, right?
I actually like Mel.
Didn't he get about $100 million?
Yeah.
Yeah, right. Yeah,
He's fine.
He's all right.
Yeah, he's doing well. The team not so much, but there's a lot of teams right now that aren't doing too well. I.e. Northwestern.
I want. You know what I want?
I mean, look at this whole panel here.
mean,
Iowa sucks.
my coach got fired
Wisconsin
yesterday.
sucks.
Yeah.
Northwestern sucks.
Yeah, it's been a tough
Not great.
Big Ten year for all of us.
Hey, but UCLA won, right? Future Big Ten team.
There you go. I guess that's the positive.
That was a big win.
Go Bruins.
But I guess the big question, like back to the Bears defense, is like you said, right? It's a simple thing, and it makes me think that like the coaches aren't doing their job of getting these guys ready to play. That's what it seems like, to be honest, right? Because it's simple things, like guys are confused about who has the edge. Like the Giants have run this play all season, right? We saw that in film study. How do you not address that? Okay, let's go through all the scenarios, right? Hey, Brisker, if you're the edge of the defense, you come up here to the level, you cause the contain. Okay, here, if we're in a under formation, hey, Robinson right here, if the guy blocks down there, you got to spin out and you got to get the edge right now. Okay, go through all the scenarios. It seems like they're not prepared for what's going on, and that's what's glaring to me, especially in the run game. You know, there's a lot of times where there's a free hitter, and you're like, you hit him right there. Even if you miss the tackle, it's maybe a 3-yard gain, right? Because everyone's rallying. But if you cannot set the edge of the defense, you cannot stop the run at all. And, yeah, I just don't think they're getting coached good enough right now. You know, I don't think they're confident out there. I don't think they know exactly what they're doing on each play, and it's evident, right? Like there's a lot of lack of communication out there, and guys aren't on the same page.
Maybe a lesson learned there about praising the coaching staff before they've ever really, played a game. Because there was a lot of that going on in the preseason.
Yeah.
Now, to defend the coaches a little bit, too, you got a lot of young players on the field, and you probably don't have too many of the guys, like to your point earlier in the show, who's still here when they're good, right? They're probably sitting there pretty frustrated with some of the play that's actually happening out there on the field, too, as they try to coach it up. But I don't know. You got to come up with a solution. We're not talking about rocket science.
Yeah, stopping the run is pretty simple. It is a simple thing, right? Like I talked about, that's the most disappointing aspect of it, right? Because Eberflus coming here and Williams, we're like, okay, they're going to be able to stop the run at least, right? And then once you stop the run, you're like, hey, if we fail to generate pressure with our front four, we'll dial up the blitz, right? But when you can't stop the run, teams can be two-dimensional, right? They work the play action, then all of a sudden these young guys, their eyes are biting, and then what happens? Burn deep. That's what we've seen all year.
Last in NFL at 183.3 yards per game. I want to just put on the record, I was shouted down maybe by the chat and maybe by people on the show. I can't exactly remember which one it was, but I remember feeling emotionally wounded when I put it out there that the defensive line might be worse than the offensive line.
You were on that, man.
Wait, I got to give you your props. Thus far, the offensive line, with the exception of this past game, they performed better. Right, and you could make an argument, right, that Justin Fields held the ball a little too long on a couple of those sacks, but I don't know. Carman may have been up to something, man.
I mean, sadly, it ain't like the offensive line has been great either. And something,
they have been better than what I thought going into this game. This game was not good.
No,
not good enough.
But let's talk about the D-line real quick, right? Robert Quinn, he hasn't performed to the expectations that we thought of the season he had last year, right? Al-Qadim Muhammad. I thought he was going to have a breakout season after last year being his first-year starter, 7 sacks, right, under Eberflus's defense.
He's
been non-existent. No pressure, nothing in the run game, right? Travis Gibson has flashed a couple times, but we haven't seen a consistent what we thought he would take the next step, right? He's looked good at times rushing the passer. And then inside, right, Justin Jones sometimes. Pennell's getting driven back down the field. Like
we got to shout out Justin Jones, though, for that encroachment yesterday, Woot. That dude was like, he was back there with the running back hanging out. That was awesome. He just kept going.
Hey, that's the penetration he's been looking for.
Exactly.
I mean, we all saw.
But you guys
93
not
there.
see that, right? Like, do you guys look at the line, because that's mostly what I focus on a lot of times when I'm watching. I look at the line of scrimmage, right? So that usually sets the tone, and guys just aren't getting penetration.
They're not.
Right? That's what this defense thrives on when it's run well, is the penetration. Like I said, they're worrying too much about, oh, he overreached me. I don't care if you're overreaching me. I'm going to get in the backfield. That's simple as that. Like, if someone overreaches you and you try to step with them, that's where you're wrong in this scheme, right? Other schemes, that's right. But in the Tampa 2 scheme, you have to get off the football, right? And that's the whole thing. It doesn't matter if you're reach. It doesn't matter if you're necessarily out of your gap, because the penetration sets that edge, sets that run defense.
All right, well,
Yeah.
we
Sounds like a
we'll
talent
see
issue.
what Matt Eberflus has to say. I'm going to get off to Hallis Hall. He's going to talk in about an hour. So
145 presser. That's in 45 minutes, buddy.
they moved it back to 155.
155.
And also, last week they said 145. It didn't really happen to like 2:30. So
Okay.
we're going to try to make a move.
That's perfect. We got a couple super chats to get to.
Okay.
Then we'll
one
get out
of
of here.
them.
Albus. What do you got,
Albus.
Albus?
Everyone complained we didn't give Fields enough weapons to have a fair evaluation this year. Now we are seeing that happen, and people blame Fields. I think we pretty much established on the show yesterday it's everything. I mean, there are plays where Fields deserves the blame.
Mm-hmm.
There's no question he doesn't have enough help. Nobody's changing the tune on that. Yesterday proved that. But it's just not an ideal situation.
And, hey, Albus, I hear you hearing the noise around the quarterback, but if we just focus on the micro in this show today, I think we pretty much said he got better.
Yeah, we
did.
We did.
Hoge wanted to fight it, but we shouted Hoge
Well,
down.
there was a couple plays where I didn't like that he ran himself into trouble. But other than that, he was fine.
Yeah.
Fine.
Fine-ish.
Fine-ish.
He played well enough for them to win that game. 100%.
Yeah,
right?
Somewhat okay.
I think a lot of it comes down to Luke Getsy, right?
Are you ever going to let him throw in the end zone?
Exactly.
Ever.
It's a game planning. That's the key, right? He doesn't have all the weapons that he might have next year, right? We might have a true number one. We might have another good receiver. Like, he doesn't have enough weapons. So it's a combination of everything. But we saw progress, though.
Progress, baby.
Zach Ferguson, $9.99 super chat, says he's bringing his 1-year-old to his first Bears game, flying from San Antonio for the November 13th Detroit game. Can you say CHGO tailgate?
Yes, we can.
Yeah, we do have one that week. And,
Ooh,
our
at the
next
tailgate.
one, by the way, our next one is on the 6th for the Miami game.
Okay.
We will also have one on the 13th. So, yes, Zach, bring that 1-year-old out to his first Bears game and bring him over to the tailgate first.
There you go. I saw a baby at our first tailgate.
Very cute baby.
Yeah.
The baby playing bags, too? Or
Carm wishes maybe you could have won then.
I just want to say that I appreciate everybody who came out, and I didn't play bags that day, but I will play at the next one.
We
and
need video evidence of Carm, because I got to see his throw.
I am nervous.
I think you are a little nervous.
You ready to
Yeah,
play Nick and ping
I
pong tomorrow?
forgot
Because
to-
that's
It's
coming.
Big match tomorrow. Moriano is going down like he's never gone down, because he literally has never gone down here. No one's beaten him.
He's pretty good.
Yeah.
He put spin on it. He put the English on it.
Just returns everything.
He
He's
had
really
literally
annoying.
a diving return last week.
Wow.
And I failed to get on camera, and it bothered me all week.
Robbie Gold, when I played, him and Hester were probably two of the best.
Robbie's just good at everything.
He is
apparently.
golf,
It's ridiculous.
ping pong, kicking.
Okay.
He's
Robbie? No.
very, very beatable. We just haven't done it yet. It's only a matter of time to do. He's like, at this point, he's like I don't know. He's like the '88 Bears. You know that he's gonna have a great regular season, but you're gonna get him in the playoffs.
Wow.
Carm.
Wow.
Why not?
Okay.
Let's go, Nick. I see you.
That's a good way to end this show. We are out of here. Follow us on Twitter at Adam Hoge, at the Carm, at Corey Wootton, at CHGO_Bears_sports. A lot of good content up from yesterday going into today. Carm eating chicken wings apparently made the
For
feed.
breakfast.
Hey,
Did you heat them up at least?
Nope.
Oh,
Straight out of the
gosh.
Oh, it was delicious.
Also, nuggets. They're not wings if there's no bone in them. So
Oh, okay.
They definitely were advertised on the menu as wings, 100%.
Yeah, the boneless wings.
Boneless
Wings.
Yeah.
which equals nuggets.
And nuggets have breading on them to me.
right? The nuggets are like the
nuggets
ones
are
you
bready.
get from
But
McDonald's,
a boneless
right?
wing,
Same thing in chicken tender.
it's a tendy, it's a nug. It's not a wing.
Chicken tender has breading on it, fried.
The
Otherwise, it is just a chicken breast.
And for anybody out there who, why would you ever order that? I only order it because I know that everybody will eat those. Versus some people with the bone, they don't feel as comfortable. So we went super safe. They don't.
What, do they worry about spilling on themselves?
No, my wife's that way. She won't eat anything off a bone. I make ribs. I got to cut them off for her because she doesn't like to eat it out the bone. She likes how it tastes. She just doesn't like the bone situation.
Maybe it's a lesson for me. Like I should just order what I want if I'm bringing in food for.
So you like bone-in wings?
Yeah, of course. And I wouldn't have ordered a thin cheese pizza either. But I know that everybody's gonna eat that.
Cheese.
Shout out to Buffalo Joe's.
I know.
Corey, what's your order at Buffalo Joe's?
Buffalo Joe's?
Yeah, let's end it up
I would have the barbecue wings.
barbecue. So
Barbecue.
not the suicide or the.
No. I like the barbecue. When I especially when I was younger, I didn't like hot stuff. Now I go for the suicide. I like hot spicy foods, but yeah, Buffalo Joe's is the real one.
Were you a double order guy back
Double
then?
order. Double chips.
Cheddar chips?
Yeah, and the Gutbuster.
Gutbuster
RC, baby.
Okay.
Hey, as we say goodbye today, I just want to remind everybody we are going to enjoy this football season no matter what. That is the plan.
I'm enjoying it.
We are. There's progress going to be made, and wins or no wins, we're all going to be having a good time together. Damn it! So stay up in some way, shape, or form.
Good
I
message.
demand it.
We'll be back tomorrow at noon. Bye.